Hey, Jay Samsal here for Real Outdoors. I'm with my buddy Scott Dingwall. It's early June. We're up here on Lake of the Woods. We're just about ready to throw the boat in the water. We're going to head out tonight and fish lake trout first thing, and as the evening moves on, we're going to head into the shallow waters to go target smallmouth and maybe a largemouth or two. So stay tuned and we'll see what we can put together for you.
I'm just an average guy who loves the outdoors. I love to hunt and I love to fish. Somewhere along the way I ended up with a video camera in my hand. So now I'm just cruising around checking out cool destinations. So sit back, put your feet up, and come on along. I'm Brian Whitens, and this is where I've been. Lake of the Woods is truly one of North America's natural wonders. Cut from the rugged Canadian Shield featuring over 14,000 islands and more than 65,000 miles of shoreline, Lake of the Woods is a year-round natural paradise for vacationers and outdoor enthusiasts. It's home to a variety of species of freshwater fish. We were after trout and bass, and it didn't take us long to find what we were looking for.
So we just got to our first spot here, and we're going to be we're fishing for lake trout. Baits are pretty simple. It's your typical jig and plastic. I got a big heavy weight because we're going to be fishing down probably 60-80 feet, and a fluke. So we just thread that on there like you normally would. Now, the reason we're using these smelt type baits is because that's the main forage. It's all smelt out here. I mean, there's millions of them. And what's going on is they're stacking up on this wall essentially. So we're going to sit up on top of that break, we're going to go off it, we're going to come back on it, and in the meantime we're going to catch some fish. So let's get it done. There we go.
So we're not even 5 minutes into this yet, and Scott's got one hooked up here. So they're usually a bit of a fight. I'm going to reel up because these things really like to, you know, we got 100 feet of water here, and between the two of us there's only 6 feet of difference. So I'm going to reel up my line and let him fight this thing, and we'll see if we can put him in the boat.
He just doesn't know he's hooked yet. A lot of times they come up real easy to start with, and then here he is, realize what's going on, and then fight you pretty good. That's a nice one. You want to grab that net, Jay, or are you just going to...
Oh, I think I'll just tail him for you.
Yeah, he's a pretty good one.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. Let's see if we can't lose him here.
Oh, he's
all wrapped up. There we go. Barbless hooks out here, so we gotta, there he is. Good job. Well, that's a good start. Let me get that hook out of it. There we go.
This is a kind of average run-of-the-mill lake trout out here. A lot of these fish out here are this 10 to 12 pound range. They're so much fun to catch. This time of year, they're you know, fairly plentiful out here. Most nights we can catch a few of them, and you know, Scott kind of brought that one in pretty quick. But a lot of times these things will, you know, you'll battle them for 10 to 15 minutes, and sometimes longer depending on the size of them. So we'll go ahead and get him back and see if we can't catch a few more.
I'll get another one for you to hold here in a second.
So just to kind of show you, we're talking about the bait fish out here and what we're using. This thing was laying on the surface, and this is a smelt. They're called rainbow smelts, and this is a main forage for them out here. Bass eat them, walleye eat them, and the trout eat them. So this bait here is what we're replicating. We're replicating that little smelt fish right there. And as you see, they eat it. Yeah, trout. Normally trout fishing, a lot of guys are used to doing the trolling thing, or they pulled, you know, they use downriggers in these deep basins to catch these fish, and this is kind of a unique technique for them, and is, you know, hovering over them and fishing them. You know, it is deep. Yeah, we're going to fish in 100 feet of water, but we got 3/4 ounce jigs on, and it's calm enough today that we're able to keep our lines perfectly vertical, and that's really important when you're doing this. Is keeping your line vertical. You got to be in control of your bait at all times, and you got to be able to feel the bite. They're big fish. Sometimes they really hammer on it, but other times, you know, it's just kind of a, you know, light tap, or all of a sudden, you know, you pull up to jig it and they're on it. So this is a real fun way to fish them. You get the most fight out of these fish when they're directly below the boat rather than, you know, 100 feet behind it. So the next time you're out trout fishing, give this a try in your local lake. You'll have a lot of fun.
If you catch some.
If you catch them. If you're no good, you don't catch them, well then.
Watch Real Outdoors as they travel to a new and exciting destination each week. Real hunting and real fishing in the real outdoors.
Getting a few.
Another
Was
one.
that right where he should have been there? Right on that break. It's hard to tell these things. I mean, first couple minutes they may not fight a whole bunch like I was saying earlier, and then next thing you know they take 100 yards of line.
I see like a 30-pounder.
There he is. See, there's those bubbles we're talking about. They come up from a long ways, and lake trout are one of the few fish that can actually get those bubbles out of their air bladder.
Yeah, they're able to decompress their swim bladders, and these and whitefish, I believe, can do it as well. This is actually a pretty nice fish, this one.
Yeah.
That's a beauty there. That thing's got some girth to it.
Healthy, hey?
Yeah.
Ooh. Lengthwise, this one's not real big.
34
but,
inches probably, 35 maybe.
Yeah, just a nice healthy fish. Let's get him back here.
Yeah.
Torpedo him down. There he goes.
There you go. So that's two.
You're all slimed up.
I'm all slammed up. I'm getting beat too.
2-0.
Scott just mentioned that he's fishing his bait about 10, 15 feet off the bottom, and the reason why we're doing that today is because of where the smelt are. The smelt are really low right now. They're pushed down to bottom. On the graph, they're showing that they're marking it from near the bottom to about 20 feet off the bottom. So as long as you got your bait within that smelt wall, or those big bait schools of bait, you're right within the predator species. Jeez.
We're on them. There's tons down there. I don't know what's going on. Must be lucky, I guess.
That's okay. Today's Take a Kid Fishing Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my rod in the water and see if
You
we can
having
hook up a
fun,
double header.
Doesn't quite have the girth the other one does. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, nice save.
Hook came out at the side of the boat and we got him. Little guy.
Little fish for Lake of the Woods.
Yeah. Get him right back. There he goes. Samsal, what's going on up there?
I don't know, man.
They are biting.
You're making me look bad
Feels
here.
pretty good.
No, this is cool. This is what
Same kind of bite. I mean, yeah, it's unreal. We both, finished work for the day basically, and
what time is it right now? 6 o'clock?
yeah, maybe 6 o'clock. We're out here catching these lake trout.
Now he's starting to go.
Yeah, this one's going. Whoa, there he goes again.
Yeah, we're in 103 feet of water right now.
Yeah,
And I can see the fish on the graph. He's down around 85 feet.
Look at this.
And he's still going.
I gotta get him up here.
I'm
You
gonna
just
reel
cannot
mine up.
move this thing.
I left my line, and a lot of times these things, they travel in packs, and
Here he's starting to
or
come
there's numbers of them on one spot, and sometimes you can hook 2 or 3 at once, depending on how many lines you got in the water.
Yeah, I'm making some headway now. Oh, there he goes again. Maybe there he
he is.
comes, Jay.
Mick, he's got a real
Weird.
big lump on him here.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Strange.
rare. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But,
Quasimodo.
yeah, he's got a big humpback. It's kind of neat.
Never seen that before.
Another run-of-the-mill fish out here. That's a nice one, Scott.
Angry one.
That one fought more like he should have. So,
Thanks, Jay.
important to get these things back in the water right away. The water's still pretty cold out here, so they can handle it, but you want to get them back and let them keep doing their thing. These things are all they do is eat. I let them go, and
Probably hit your lure with his tail or something.
every dog has their day.
Yep.
See that right there? That's what he just spit up. Another smell. You know, one thing that's really important with fishing is adapting. And you probably notice I've been getting it handed to me here the last hour. Scott's put 5 in the boat to my 0. And I had a 5-inch, minnow bait on. Had a couple drive-bys and a few, light hits, but they weren't really committing it to it. So,
Basically upsized
to what Scott's using, and 2 minutes later I'm hooked up. So it's nice when you have a couple people in the boat and tried a couple different things, and if one guy's getting them on one thing, it's you'd be stupid not to switch. So there we go. There's another one.
Good job.
So yeah, like I was saying, I upsized it another couple inches on the bait and put a 7-incher instead of a 5, and literally it was minutes after I dropped down, hooked up with another nice Lake of the Woods Laker. Well, what do you figure, Scott? Want to head into the shallows and see if we can catch a couple smallmouth and a largemouth or two?
I'm always in.
Okay, let's do it.
Watch Real Outdoors as they travel to a new and exciting destination each week. Real hunting and real fishing in the real outdoors.
Switch things up here. Now we're after bass. We just finished up with those lake trout and had a pretty good success. We got 5 or 6 quick, and so what we're doing now, we're going to throw some jerk baits, tube baits, a few other things on some rock weed mixture. These fish are pretty shallow right now, so we'll have a mix of largemouth, smallmouth, maybe even crappies. Actually, we got some smaller baits in the boat here. We're going to try and see what we can put together. Oh, there's one.
Largie or smallie?
I'm thinking smaller. Smallie. Jump on it.
Looks like a decent fish. Got her on the big twig. Oh yeah.
Good starter.
That's a nice starter.
Yeah, so we're in the back bay here. This bay warms up probably a week or 2 before the main part of the lake, and these fish are just filtering back here, getting ready to spawn. Good looking fish. Top water. That one looks good too.
Finally just got hooked up on the top water here. This is my favorite way to catch them. I mean, there's no better way to catch them than on top. And this one's even a bit of a leaper, so extra. There you go. Bit of a belly. I'm not sure. I think these are males, but the reason I say that is because their fins are so tore up. Usually the males are up here first making the nest, and the females will come up later to drop the eggs.
There's
off.
one. There we go.
I'll let this one go, and Scotty can bring in the next.
This one's a pretty good one too.
Nice job, buddy.
That's a nice fish. That's a little better.
Another one.
Oh, he's on him. All right, I gotta get back in there. I can't let him one-up me here.
Oh, that's a good one there.
That's a good one.
Scott and I fish a lot of bass tournaments in the area, and July and August, we would love to have these fish. Especially that one.
That's a beauty.
That's a big one. That's the size you're after. That one looks like it's a spawned out female. See that skinny little belly on her? I bet she just dropped her eggs from back here and she's heading out to put on the feed bag. That's what bass fishing in Lake of the Woods is all about right there.
We've basically decided that there's a good number of fish back here, and there's a few different ways we're going to go about catching them. Jay's throwing a topwater. He's had a few bites on that. It seems to be working pretty good. And any time from, say, June all the way through till basically September, a topwater is a great bait up here on Lake of the Woods. Weightless worm like this Senko is a good choice. Another way we catch them too is on these swim baits. You can reel them, quick through the water and cover a little more ground that way. And then the third bait we'll choose is a weighted tube bait, or it's basically just a Texas rig plastic. Could be a creature bait, could be a worm, could be something like this too. But it's a bait that's going to get down there, get in their face, and they're going to react to it.
This is a real fun time of year to get out and fish bass, either largemouth or smallmouth. There's a lot of different ways you can catch them right now. If they're not spawning, when they come out after they're spawning, they got one thing in mind, and that's eating. And when they're up shallow like that, you can catch them on. Scott's got heavier gear. I think he's throwing a tube, and I got top water on. It just shows, there's a lot of different ways you can catch them. You can catch these things on jerk baits, whatever you want to throw, they'll probably eat right now.
That'll work. Yeah, the most fun you can probably have is catching them when they're staging, to go in or coming out from these spawning bays.
Yeah, that's usually when they're in big numbers.
That's what's going on here. We're getting them off this little island here, and I would think for the most part these fish are probably moving back further where they're actually going to set up to spawn. So, that's like 5 fish off one little rock pile. Evidently, that's what they're doing, is setting up and moving through.
Watch Real Outdoors as they travel to a new and exciting destination each week. Real hunting and real fishing in the real outdoors.
So to kind of reiterate what we've been talking about all night with working back into this bay, this is a bay off the main lake. It's a big spawning bay. The water warms up in here quicker than the big lake. So what we've done is we've kind of just worked our way. We've started at the first kind of neck down before the bay closes off back here, and we've worked our way along the shorelines, and we've hit a couple rock outcrops and some islands that's held some fish. And now what we're doing is we're right at the very back of it, and there's pencil weeds that line all the way across this thing. And what we're doing now is we're more or less trying to target some largemouth, but we're just going through here real slow and just picking all these little weed clumps apart. And it's a slow way of fishing. It's kind of methodical. You got to really have some patience, but it's a great way to catch big fish, and in some cases some good numbers too. So,
got a bass.
there you go.
Finally.
There's a largemouth too, eh?
Yeah.
Little guy.
Largemouth. Well, add it to the mix.
Yeah.
So in this bay we've got pike, smallmouth, and now the first largemouth. So we'll see if we can one up that one, but I guess we got to start somewhere. Got one, Sal? Oh yeah. That'll work. That's a little better.
This light tackle, you can't really.
I don't know if are you gonna lift them or grab them? Nice fish.
There you go. That's a nice one. These things are awesome. These are, Scott and I, these are our favorite fish. I mean, smallmouths are fun, but there's nothing like catching largemouth in Lake of the Woods. There you go, girl.
Stuck in those weeds again.
Oh yeah.
Little guy.
Nice jump though. Oh, it's not that bad.
2-pounder.
Yeah.
That's what we're after.
Nice.
A little more beef on those ones. So with these Senkos, we're just using little tiny hooks. And we'd much rather catch them on a topwater frog or a big jig or something like that. But the reality of it is they're just not biting that kind of stuff right now. So we had to downsize and use a Senko. I mean, there's nothing to it. You're casting it out. You're letting it sit. The bait does all the work for you. But yeah, like I said, there's no denying these things flat out work.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's stuck again.
Go in, go in. Or let him fight his way out.
Yeah.
Nope.
Somewhat.
Is it a good one?
It's not bad, yeah.
I'll grab him for you.
Better one.
Ah,
A little bigger than that one that you caught earlier, probably.
I'm sure it is.
That's a pretty nice one.
Yep.
That'll work.
That's a Lake of the Woods special right there.
Freaking that fast.
All right.
Yeah, those are the ones we're after. I mean, that one definitely goes 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, that come tournament time, these are worth their weight in gold, hey?
Yeah. Again, you can see this fish she's kind of beat up in her tail. She's up there doing her thing right now, and
Those pliers.
Scott put a hurt on her. But no, that's great, and this has been a fun night.
Another great night on Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, you gotta come up here and enjoy this. It's great being a local, but this area offers some great guides. It's got a lot of lodges. If you don't want to come to a lodge, you can stay at a hotel. The area offers a lot of guides, a lot of personal outfitters. If you come up here for a week and you don't want to have a guide for the whole week you're up here, get one for a few days, and they can kind of show you what the deal is around here and give you a few areas to start on and kind of show you what to look for. So, any chance you get, come on up in the summer and enjoy Lake of the Woods.
Fishing's a lot of things. I mean, it's competition to start with. It's being outdoors. It's the fact that it's always a bit of a puzzle to figure out how those fish are going to be caught that day. I mean, it's the baits. We like to, always buying these new lures and new rods and reels, and so yeah, it's not necessarily just one thing. It's a variety of things for me.
I love coming out and trying to figure something out. You always have different factors, whether it's weather or what have you. There's always different conditions. So coming out here and figuring it out, putting a pattern together and being successful at it, it's a sense of accomplishment, and it's a lot of fun. Both of us do a lot of tournament fishing. You want to do well, you want to be at the top, and this area has a lot of good anglers, and it's tough to always be at the top. So you always got to be on your game, and that's really what drives me.
I'm Brian Whitens, and that's where I've been.